Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing something different. We aren't just skimming the surface. We're going deep. If you have 15 minutes, I have a plan that will change the way you look at English forever. Let's start with a feeling I know you've had. You're in a conversation. You know exactly what you want to say in your head. It's perfect. It's smart. It's funny. But then you open your mouth and it feels like there is an invisible wall between your brain and your tongue. The words get stuck. You end up saying something simple like, yes, it is good, when you wanted to say something much more complex. Does that mean you don't know English? No, it means your input and your output are not synced up. Today, I'm going to show you how to break down that wall. This isn't about studying harder. It's about training smarter. We're going to cover the 3 distinct phases of fluency, the science of brain rewiring, and a daily routine you can actually keep. Part 2, Defining Fluency, the 2026 Standard. Before we move forward, we have to define the goal. In the past, people thought fluency meant perfection. They thought it meant speaking like a professor. In 2026, the world is smaller, and English is a tool for connection. Think about it this way: efficiency over perfection. There are 2 levels of fluency we're targeting today. First, functional fluency. This is the ability to navigate life. If your car breaks down, can you explain the problem to a mechanic? If you're at a party, can you tell a story about your childhood? If you can do this, even with a few ums and uhs, you are functionally fluent. The second level is cognitive fluency. This is the holy grail. This is when you stop translating. When someone says, "How's it going?" you don't think, "How" means como, "is" means es. No, you just feel the meaning and you say, "Good, you?" To get to cognitive fluency, we have to stop treating English like a math problem and start treating it like a physical skill, like swimming or playing the guitar. You don't learn to swim by reading a book about water. You have to get wet. You have to immerse your brain until it has no choice but to adapt. Let's talk about phase 1, the foundation. If you feel like you can't speak, it's usually because you haven't listened enough. I know that sounds backwards, but hear me out. Your brain has an internal grammar monitor. When you listen to native speakers at a speed you can mostly understand, you are feeding that monitor. The 80-20 rule of input. You should spend 80% of your time listening to things where you understand almost everything, and 20% on things that challenge you. If you jump straight into a fast-paced American sitcom like The Bear or Friends, and you only understand half of it, your brain gets tired and shuts down. Instead, find comprehensible input. Look for level 3 or level 4 listening stories. Watch YouTubers who talk about their lives, not just English teachers. Why? Because when a vlogger talks about their morning routine, they use high-frequency language. These are the words used 90% of the time in real life. The secret of repetition. Don't just listen to 100 different things once. Listen to one thing 10 times. The first time, you understand the story. The 5th time, you notice the prepositions. The 10th time, you notice the rhythm and the connected speech. How we push words together, like saying "I'm gonna" instead of "I am going to." This is where the music of the language gets stuck in your head. Part 4, the transition, bridging the gap. Now we move to the hardest part, phase 2, the intermediate plateau. This is where most students quit. You feel like you're working hard, but you don't feel better. To bridge the gap, you need to start active output. One of my favorite techniques is shadowing, but I want you to do reverse shadowing. Listen to a sentence, pause the video, and try to say it exactly like the speaker. Not just the words, but the emotion. If they sound excited, you sound excited. If they are complaining, you complain. You are training your facial muscles to move in ways they aren't used to. Another trick? the narrative reflection. At the end of your day, spend 5 minutes talking to yourself in the mirror. Describe your day in the past tense. I went to the store, but they were out of milk, so I had to go to the other shop. Then describe your plans for tomorrow in the future tense. I'm going to finish that report by noon. This forces your brain to retrieve words under pressure. If you can't remember the word for report, that is a gap. Good. Gaps are not failures. They are directions. When you find a gap, look up the word, and I guarantee you will never forget it again because your brain actually needed it in that moment. Part 5. Thinking in English. The final shift. How do we stop the translation? This is the question I get asked the most. It starts with labeling. Throughout your day, look at objects and name them in English. Chair, table, cloudy sky. But then level up to internal monologue. Instead of thinking in your native language, I'm hungry. What should I eat? Try to consciously think, I'm pretty hungry. Maybe I'll grab a sandwich. It will feel slow and fake at first. That's okay. You are literally building new neural pathways. You are teaching your brain that English is a primary language for thought, not just a secondary language for performance. When you start thinking in English, the invisible wall we talked about at the beginning starts to crumble. Speaking becomes a reaction, not a calculation. Here is the final truth about fluency. It is a marathon, not a sprint. You will have days where you feel like a genius. You'll have a conversation and think, wow, I'm doing it. And then, the very next day, you'll struggle to order a coffee. This is normal. This is the fluency wave. Don't focus on the daily ups and downs. Look at the months. If you look back at yourself 6 months ago, are you better? If the answer is yes, you are winning. Your 3-step action plan for tomorrow. Listen. 20 minutes of a podcast you actually enjoy. Gap hunt. Talk to yourself for 5 minutes and find one word you don't know. Shadow. Take one 30-second clip of a native speaker and mimic them perfectly. If you found value in this deep dive, please subscribe. We're going to be doing more of these long-form training sessions to really get your ears used to natural American pacing. What was your biggest aha moment from today's video? Was it the 80-20 rule? Or maybe the idea of thinking in English? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for sticking with me for these 15 minutes. Your future fluent self will thank you for the work you did today. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel, learn English audiobook, and I'm Jenna, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Keep practicing. Peace.